The Rabieh neighborhood in Amman, Jordan, is no stranger to tension. Located near the Israeli embassy, it has often been the epicenter of protests and demonstrations. In the pre-dawn hours of November 24, 2024, a palpable unease hung in the air. The usual city noises were hushed, replaced by an unsettling quiet. The streets, usually bustling with life, were eerily deserted. This was the uneasy calm before the storm. The Israeli embassy, a stark symbol of complex geopolitical realities, stood as a silent sentinel. Its presence was a constant reminder of the region's volatile political landscape. The air itself seemed heavy with anticipation, a sense that something was about to happen. This was Rabieh in the moments leading up to a shocking act of violence. The silence of the early morning was shattered by the staccato bursts of gunfire. It began suddenly, the sharp cracks of automatic weapon fire echoing through the deserted streets of Rabieh. A police patrol, their vehicle moving slowly through the quiet neighborhood, came under a hail of bullets. The peace of the morning was ripped apart. The officers caught off guard were immediately pinned down. 3 of them were hit, their bodies crumpling amidst the chaos. The attacker, his weapon-spitting fire, seemed intent on inflicting maximum damage. The quiet neighborhood transformed into a scene of sheer terror, the air thick with the smell of gunpowder. The gunman, his deadly assault complete, disappeared into the labyrinthine streets of Rabieh. The echo of his gunfire was quickly replaced by the piercing wail of sirens as security forces rushed to the scene. The manhunt had begun. Heavily armed police units, their faces grim, fanned out across the neighborhood, their every move punctuated by the barking of dogs and shouted commands. The chase was on, a desperate race against time to apprehend the attacker before he could strike again. The usually bustling streets of Rabieh became a battleground, transformed by the urgency of the pursuit. The hours dragged on, the tension mounting with every passing moment. Finally, just before dawn, the gunman was cornered. As dawn broke over Amman, the Jordanian Public Security Directorate moved swiftly to control the narrative. Their investigation revealed a chilling profile of the attacker. He was no stranger to law enforcement, a known criminal with a history of drug trafficking and violence. This was not a random act of rage, but a calculated assault. The details of his weaponry sent shockwaves through the nation. The automatic weapon, the incendiary devices, these were not the tools of a petty criminal. They spoke of a level of premeditation and intent that was deeply unsettling. The attacker's motives remained shrouded in mystery. What drove him to target the police patrol? Was it a desperate act of a cornered criminal, or was there a more sinister agenda at play? Section 5. Public outcry, diverse reactions, and social media frenzy. News of the attack spread like wildfire through Amman and beyond. The initial shock quickly gave way to a torrent of emotions, as people tried to make sense of the tragedy that had struck their city. The bustling streets of Amman, usually filled with the sounds of daily life, were now abuzz with conversations about the incident. Social media, that double-edged sword of the digital age, became a platform for a cacophony of voices. Within minutes, hashtags related to the attack began trending, and the digital landscape was flooded with posts, tweets, and videos. People from all walks of life took to their keyboards and screens to express their thoughts and feelings. Some, their words raw with grief and anger, demanded swift justice and increased security measures. They called for immediate action, urging authorities to ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. The pain and sorrow were palpable in their messages, as they sought solace in the collective mourning of their community. The attack had shaken their sense of safety, leaving them feeling vulnerable and exposed. The once familiar streets now seemed fraught with danger, and the night brought with it an unsettling silence. People looked over their shoulders, their trust in the security of their surroundings deeply eroded. Others, their comments laced with political undertones, saw the attack as a symptom of a deeper malaise. They pointed to systemic issues, arguing that the roots of such violence lay in long-standing social and political problems. These voices called for a broader examination of the factors that had led to this moment. They railed against the government, accusing them of failing to address the root causes of extremism and violence. Public speeches and social media posts alike were filled with demands for accountability and change. The anger was directed not just at the perpetrators, but at those in power who were seen as having neglected their duty to protect the people. Conspiracy theories flourished in the fertile ground of uncertainty, each one more outlandish than the last. In the absence of clear answers, some turned to speculation, weaving intricate narratives that sought to explain the inexplicable. These theories spread rapidly, adding another layer of confusion to an already chaotic situation. The attack had exposed the raw nerves of a nation grappling with complex internal and external pressures. The conversations that unfolded in the aftermath were a testament to the deep-seated anxieties and divisions within society. As the nation mourned, it also faced the daunting task of addressing the underlying issues that had been brought to the fore. Section 6. International Spotlight, Coverage and Contextualization. The attack in Rabieh did not go unnoticed by the international community. News outlets around the world, from CNN to the BBC, picked up the story, their headlines stark reminders of the volatile situation in the Middle East. The Times of Israel, in particular, provided in-depth coverage, analyzing the attack through the lens of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The attack, they argued, could not be viewed in isolation. It was inextricably linked to the wider regional tensions, the simmering conflict in Gaza casting a long shadow over the entire region. The attack served as a stark reminder that even in a country like Jordan, which prides itself on its stability, the potential for violence was never far from the surface. Section 7. Beyond Borders, Regional Tensions and the Gaza Factor. The Gaza Strip, a sliver of land wedged between Israel and Egypt, has long been a flashpoint in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This narrow strip of land, only about 25 miles long and 7 miles wide, is home to over 2 million people. Its strategic location and dense population make it a focal point of regional tensions. Its residents, subjected to a crippling blockade, live in a state of perpetual humanitarian crisis. The blockade imposed by Israel and Egypt has severely restricted the movement of people and goods, leading to widespread poverty and unemployment. Basic necessities such as clean water, electricity, and medical supplies are often in short supply, exacerbating the suffering of the population. The recent escalation of violence in Gaza, with its tragic loss of life and widespread destruction, had sent shockwaves throughout the region. The conflict has seen numerous casualties, including many civilians, and has left large parts of Gaza in ruins. The psychological impact on the residents, especially children, is profound, with many experiencing trauma and loss. The attack in Amman, some argued, was a direct consequence of this heightened tension. The violence in Gaza has a ripple effect, influencing events far beyond its borders. In Amman, the capital of Jordan, the attack was seen as a manifestation of the anger and frustration that many in the region feel towards the ongoing conflict. It was a spillover of the anger and frustration felt by many in the Arab world who saw the international community's response to the Gaza crisis as woefully inadequate. Protests erupted in several countries, with demonstrators calling for stronger action to end the violence and alleviate the suffering of the people in Gaza. The perceived lack of effective intervention by global powers has only fueled the sense of injustice and resentment. The attack served as a stark reminder that the conflict in Gaza was not simply a local issue, but one with the potential to ignite a wider regional conflagration. The interconnectedness of the Middle East means that events in one area can quickly influence the entire region. The Gaza conflict, with its deep historical roots and complex political dynamics, remains a volatile and unpredictable factor in the broader landscape of Middle Eastern geopolitics. Section 8. A Nation's Resolve, Jordan's Stability, a Red Line. In the aftermath of the attack, King Abdullah II of Jordan issued a stern warning. Jordan's stability, he declared, was a red line that must not be crossed. The attack, he said, was a cowardly act of terrorism aimed at undermining the nation's security and sowing discord among its people. His words, delivered with a calm but firm demeanor, resonated deeply with Jordanians. The nation had faced numerous challenges throughout its history, but it had always emerged stronger and more united. This attack, they vowed, would be no different. The message was clear. Jordan would not be cowed by terrorism. It would confront this threat with unwavering resolve, protecting its people and preserving its hard-won stability. Section 9. Implications for Peace. Navigating the Path Forward. In this section, we delve into the complexities and the critical importance of finding a sustainable path to peace in the Middle East, a region that has long been marred by conflict and instability. The attack in Amman served as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace in the Middle East. It was a tragic event that shook the very foundations of the city, and sent ripples of fear and uncertainty throughout the region. The aftermath of the attack was a somber reflection of the ongoing tensions and the ever-present threat of violence. It underscored the urgent need for a just and lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a conflict that has been at the heart of Middle Eastern turmoil for decades. The peace talks between Israeli and Palestinian leaders have been fraught with challenges, yet they remain a beacon of hope for many. The protests and unrest in the region highlight the deep-seated grievances and the desperate need for a resolution that addresses the aspirations and rights of both peoples. This conflict has fueled extremism and instability for far too long, creating a breeding ground for radical ideologies and violent actions. The scenes of conflict in Gaza and the pervasive military presence in many cities are stark reminders of the ongoing struggle. Extremist activities not only threaten the immediate safety of the region's inhabitants but also have far-reaching implications for global security. The attack also highlighted the crucial role that Jordan plays in maintaining regional stability. As a nation that has often been a haven of peace amidst chaos, Jordan's stability is vital for the broader Middle Eastern landscape. The Jordanian flag flying high symbolizes the resilience and determination of its people to uphold peace and security. As a key ally of the West and a voice of moderation in a turbulent region, Jordan's security is paramount. The meetings between Jordanian and Western leaders underscore the strategic importance of this alliance. The Jordanian military's efforts in safeguarding the nation and the ongoing diplomatic discussions are crucial in fostering a collaborative approach to regional security. The international community must stand in solidarity with Jordan, recognizing its pivotal role and providing it with the support it needs to combat terrorism and address the root causes of extremism. International summits and United Nations meetings are platforms where such solidarity can be expressed and translated into tangible actions. Providing Jordan with the necessary resources and support is essential in its fight against terrorism. Anti-terrorism operations are just one aspect. Addressing the root causes of extremism through humanitarian aid and community support is equally important. The scenes of community solidarity in Jordan are a testament to the collective effort required to build a peaceful future. The path forward will undoubtedly be fraught with challenges, given the complex and multifaceted nature of the issues at hand. The challenging terrain of the Middle East, both literal and metaphorical, requires a nuanced and persistent approach. Symbolic images of peace, like doves in flight, remind us of the aspirations for a harmonious future. But the pursuit of peace and stability must remain an unwavering commitment. Peace rallies and diplomatic handshakes are steps in the right direction, but sustained efforts and unwavering dedication are needed to transform these symbols into lasting reality. The vision of a peaceful cityscape in the Middle East is a goal that must drive all efforts forward.